guys, it's Emily from Novelle Novels and welcome to today's video. This is my May TBR. Now, what did I say last month? I wasn't going to do any readathons. What happened? Katie from Books and Things decided to announce a readathon that I wanted to do. So, I am going to do her one, but I'm not going to do all the prompts. I am going to be realistic and honest with you guys because, like I said all along in my channel, I am honest. May is going to be an interesting month in the fact that it's number one child's birthday on the 16th. So she'll be the centre of that time. And I'm also reducing the medication. So I'm going to try and wean off my amitriptyline. So my concentration may be a bit all over the place. I may be moody. I may be fun. I've been warned there's going to be a bit of withdrawal because I've obviously been on it for 4 years. So it's going to take time, so I'm going to rely on my books to keep me going. And I must admit, I'm happier with the books I picked for May than what I had in April. So I had May, which was a brilliant month. April so far a bit at the time of filming. But May books, oh my God, I'm so excited about them all. So yes, the readathon that I am doing is going to be Katie's 1900 to 1950s readathon. I've got 3 books for that, and I will talk about that readathon and where the books that I'm showing you relate to that in a minute. But first things first, Mia will pop in quickly and do the TBR jar with me, okay? So let's see what the TBR jar picks this month. April's not done too badly, I don't think. I'm trying to think what April picked me. Anyway, let's have a look. So Mia's going to come in. So, and then we're going to go, I'm going to pick the book. You're holding the jar and she's going to help me find which one the TBR jar picks. I don't know what this is going to pick. Oh, okay, I've got one. Okay, so here we go. I'm being completely honest. The English Patient, which I think fits Katie's readathon. And actually, it's actually my top book. So this is The English Patient. I don't know if it fits Katie's readathon in the fact I don't know when it was published, but I know it's about the Second World War. So, it's not a long book. It's only 300 pages. Yes, the TBR jar was nice. And it's one that's been on my shelves for absolutely ages. So I'm really happy with that. Well done, Mia. So she's now going to be in the background and she's going to help me find the books, but she's going to go and put those ones away from me now because she's going to be a good girl. Put those on the floor. Okay, so now I will talk about the buddy reads that I'm doing and go from there. So obviously I've got 3 that are carrying on from April. I've got Dr. Thorpe, which I'm reading with a group on Instagram, and I'm thoroughly loving this. Anthony Trollope is amazing. I'm loving it. I don't think it's quite as good as the Barchester Chronicles, but it is good, and I do like it. I've got East of Eden, which I'm reading with Ange from Ange's Book Chatter, Danny from Spinelli Speaks, and Laura from Laura's Book Blah Blah. I need to subscribe to her channel. Sorry, Laura. This is blooming good. Oh my goodness, I am loving this. This is the Cain and Abel retelling. I don't need to talk about it too much because obviously I said it in my April TBR, but I am seriously enjoying this a lot more. This is probably my favourite out of the 2 monthly ones. And then I'm reading lastly on the big ones, Little Dorrit, which I'm reading with the lovely Gemma from Reader Book Gem, and I'm enjoying this. This is a lot better than our last big Dickens book. Little Dorrit's character is so lovely and I love her and I'm really enjoying this book. So those are the 3 that are carrying on going. They're going to be the ones that are going to be taken downstairs. So that's another one pile over there. Maybe we'll have to put them there ready because I've got to carry on reading them today. Yeah. Now I've got the other buddy reads. So I've got Lullaby by Layla Stinami. I bought this, I think Chris either bought it for me or I bought it out of my Christmas money. For Christmas, and it's my buddy read with Chloe from Chloe Reads Books. When Miriam decides to return to work, she and her husband are looking for a nanny for their 2 young children. They find the dream candidate Louise, a quiet and polite and devoted woman who stings their children, cleans the family Paris apartment, stays late without complaint. But as the couple and their nanny become increasingly dependent on each other, jealousy, resentment and suspicion start to breed. This looks interesting. It's actually really short, so it's only about 200 pages. So it only takes us about 4 days to read. The nanny aspect freaks me out a little bit, but it's good. I can't wait to read that. The next one, oh my God, I'm so excited about that. I think I'm having to rearrange because I was planning to do a buddy with Linda. I've got to message her. But I've got to put this up the pile. This has to be And it's Take the Hint, Danny Brown by Tyler Hibbert. You guys know I loved Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I've heard this is amazing. This is about Danica Brown, so that's the second of the daughters, second oldest, the middle child. Danica knows what she wants: professional, successful, academic renown, an occasional role in the hay to relieve her career-driven tension. But romance, This is a bit of a raunchy, another raunchy, sexy one, but I can't wait. I'm buddy reading this with the lovely Guy from Guy Athena, who I absolutely adore. Cannot wait for this. My sister said she loved it. It's just so excited. It's going to be the light-heart book that I really need this month in May, so cannot wait. Then I've got my buddy read with Gemma for the month. The Outcast by Sadie Jones. We found this in one of our charity shop trips. This is set in 1957. 19-year-old Lewis Aldridge stands alone in the Waterford railway station. The only person waiting his return is a 15-year-old girl called Kit Carmichael. Like him, she suffered a childhood spent in stifling atmosphere in the English village, recovering from the ravages of World War II. And a decade earlier, so it's got a different timelines. I don't know why this shut out to both of us in the charity shops, but it does look like one I'm going to love. Can't wait to get to this. This is probably going to be my hard-hitting book. So that is all my buddy reads. Now I'm going to show you the books. Actually, I think I will show you and explain about Katie's Readathon. So Katie's Readathon, the prompts are: read a book from 1900s to the 1950s from a country where you're born from. So I'm going to read Miss Pettigrew Lives for the Day. Miss Pettigrew Lives for the Day. My sister Charlie gave this to me ages ago. It looks beautiful. It's set in it's from 1938, so I love that sort of time era. This is one of my sister's beautiful books that she's given me. Look how gorgeous it is. It's a paperback, but look, beautiful. Another one that's not too long. Again, it's only about 200 odd pages, but it fits the readathon and it looks beautiful, and it's one that I definitely want to get to. The next one is read a book from 1900s to 1950s from a different country. Now, I wasn't going to add another book in for this prompt because I thought, I've got so many books. I've got about 15 to 20 books, including my buddy reads over, so I've overloaded myself slightly. But I realised that Ethan Frome fits this because it's by Edith Wharton. It was set at the early part of the 1900s, and it's been published in America. So this fits. This one is even, I don't even think it's 100 pages. Yes, just about 100 pages. So I'll fly through this. Fits a bit that I've got a book that I've had for ages and I wanted to try. And yeah, I've heard quite positive things about this, so that fits that. Then read a genre classic published between 1900s to 1950s. I've gone for my last Daphne du Maurier that I've got on my shelves, My Cousin Rachel. Now I think Lauren from Lauren Reed's book, she loved this. This is, again, 300 pages. I don't know too much, so obviously it's a genre classic. I think it's historical fictional thriller. I really don't know much about this. Ambrose Ashley, Philip's cousin and guardian, married Rachel in Italy and died there. Jealous of their marriage, racked by suspicions and the wild hints in Ambrose's letter, and grief-stricken by his death, Philip prepares to meet his cousin's widow with the hatred in his heart. I wonder what this is going to be like. But that fits that. There are another couple of prompts, like read a book published 1900 to 1950 that isn't a novel. If I find a book in the charity shops while I'm out, I'll get that. Or read a book literature published from 1900 exploring the World War I or World War II. I'm not sure if the English Patient's going to fit that. It's kind of what I'm going for that, actually. I will see if I can get away with that. And then there is another prompt, bonus prompt, which is to read a book published in those decades, but I will not get to that. So those are my books for the readathon. Hashtag it below, and I will link Katie's announcement video for that. And now are the rest of the books I'm going to be reading. So another one for that readathon, technically it doesn't count as any of the prompts, but it was published in that time. And this is Peter Pan. I literally picked this up because I've just read the fairy tale retelling with the lovely Chloe, and we didn't get on with the Peter Pan retelling. But this copy is beautiful, and Chris bought it for me ages ago. And it's about Peter Pan's stories, and I don't know exactly what it's like. I don't know if it's the exact Peter Pan, but it looks good, and I thought it could be a good bedtime read. So I'm hoping that will just make me smile. And now, like I said, So I've got the Jungle Book on one of my bookish posters that my sister gave me, and I want to read that. So this will be, I'm going to read the Jungle Book. The Jungle Books, apparently. Oh my goodness, this isn't short. This is, the second Jungle Book. So it's got 2 Jungle Books. It's a children's classic, and it's one I've had on my shelves for ages. I want to get to. I love the cartoon for the Jungle Book. I haven't actually seen the remake of it, the modern remake of it, but I loved it. I love Mowgli. I love Baloo. I love the characters in this, and I want to go to a good old childhood classic and make me smile. Although I believe the book's actually harder hitting than the films, so heads up, I'm going to be a bit careful with that. But it's I love this. I love the cartoon of it. I've got so many happy memories. So I can't wait to read that. And if I like it, I might get Mia to read it. Now, obviously, we've got my series books to read. One of them is 3 Sisters, 3 Queens by Philippa Gregory. That is the next book in the series of that. I can read it on audiobook, but actually, according to my Goodreads, I read it. So technically, I don't need to read it because I've read it and it's on my Goodreads and I would have completed the series. If I get time, I'll listen to it on the audiobook. But that will still tick off that series goal. But the other series goal to read is my next Elaine Everest, A Gift from Woolworths. Again, I think I've read this, but I want to read it in order. So I'm going to read this. I love this series. My mum's loving it. I'm lending it to her as soon as I've read it. And then obviously I've got the book that Mia gave me for my birthday, which will be in the series as well, to give an extra book to the series. But love this one when I first read it. As wartime moves in 1945, the lives of the Woolworths continues. And Betty Billington announces that she's expecting Douglas's baby, her husband's baby, and it's quite good. I don't want to give too much away because obviously it's that 4th in the series, but I'm really loving this. Now, some different books that I decided to pick whatever I wanted off my shelves for May. I thought I'm going to go with what I want, go with some books that I've been thinking about and really just enjoy myself. Now, this one has been on my shelves for ages. 3 Things About Elsie by Joanne Cannon. I really loved my other Joanne Cannon book, and this is about 84-year-old Florence who's fallen in a flat in Cherry Tree Home for the elderly. As she waits to be rescued, she considers the charming new resident who looks exactly like the man she once knew, a man who died 60 years ago. His arrival has stirred up distant memories she and Elsie thought they had laid to rest. Lying prone in the living room, Florence wonders if the terrible secrets of her past is about to come to light. There are 3 things you should know about Elsie. The first is she's my best friend. The second, that she always knows what to say to make me better. And the third thing might take a little bit more explaining. Just have another visitor. This one apparently tackles a bit of dementia. That's something I've held off reading about because my nan died of dementia. My nan had dementia. But this is again a book that I really want to get to. I'm really excited by it. And yeah, it's going to be hard hitting. It's probably one of my longest books because it's over 400 pages, but it's one I've wanted to read for so long. Let's get this off my shelves. Then I think Burner spoke about thrillers and closed room thrillers, and I had this on my shelves for ages as well. I Know a Secret, and this is a Tess Gerritsen thriller. She has to stay quiet if she wants to stay alive. Can you guys imagine me staying quiet? No chance. Don't want to know too much about this. I don't read the synopses of thrillers because they give too much away. When a young woman is found dead, Detective Jane Mazzoli and forensic pathologist Maura Arles are called to the scene. A body bears the startling wounds, although the actual cause of death is a mystery. Let's scare the living daylights out of me. Let's try and get that thriller read. Now, I've got a non-fiction book, The Children's Book by Atto Crouch. This is set in Birkenau. This is another Auschwitz book that I love my Auschwitz books, but I know this is going to be very hard-hitting. We lived on a bunk built for 4. In times of overcrowding, it slept 7, and at times even 8. We grew intimate, not only in body, but also in mind, because we knew, even though we were not born over one room, we'd certainly all die together. This is hard-hitting. Again, it could actually fit Katie's readathon, but no, it was actually published in 1993, so it won't fit the readathon, but to me, it's streams of that era, so it's hard-hitting, but I want to read it. Then I have a random book that I picked off my shelves, like a YA book. Do You Believe in Destiny? I'll Be There. This was a book that I picked purely instantly because its leading lady is called Emily. Emily believes in destiny. She's been waiting for the moment her real life begins. Sam wishes he could escape. He spent his life being dragged from place to place by his father, but he could have never abandoned his little brother. Then everything changes because Sam meets Emily. Tender, star-crossed YA book, but it's lead character Emily. YA could be light and cosy and just what I need. Then I've got my Lisa C book, because I love Lisa C books. And this is set in Shanghai in early 1957, so it's got historical fiction. Reading from the newly uncovered family secrets, they're furious with her mother and aren't keeping them. Joy Louis runs away from her LA home to Shanghai in 1957 to find the father she never knew. Had this on my shelf for ages, wanted to get to it, think it will be good. And then, by last but no means least, a book that I got straight away when it was published last year, but it's been on my shelves for ages. The Eve Illusion by Giovanna and Tom Fletcher. This is the second in the Eva Man series. I've had this since it came out, but yeah, I've had it for a year, but I've not read it. So I'm going to try now and get through the new releases that I bought, because new releases, I don't want to read them straight away because they're special, I don't want them to be on my shelves. But something's been putting me off reading this because I've heard that it's not as good as the prequel. So this is about, I can't say too much about it again because it's the second in the series, but Eve is the last girl on Earth. And she broke out of their tower with Michael, I think it was. No, Michael with Bram. And she's on a journey with Bram, and it's about them. It's got short pages. It looks chunky, but it's only about 360 pages. But the typeset is very big. It's got another leading character called Michael in here. I did think that. So it's Michael, Bram and Eve. Different chapter headings. And I'm looking forward to finally getting to it. So, yes, guys, you know me. I've got to set myself a massive TBR. But I know I can do it because even though there's lots of books here, most of them this month are short. Whereas, in April, they're all very long. So, can I do this? Do you think I can? Let me know down below. Do you think I can do this? Do you think I can read them? And let's see. I'm going to set you all a challenge. See if any of you right now, at the time of watching this, can predict which out of all of those books will be my favourite for the month. Let's see if any of you can predict it. Because you're all doing pretty well at predicting on the wrap-up videos. But can you predict? Can you preempt? Let's see. Anyway, guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, not subscribe, ring on my ding-a-ling. And watch out for my crazy children. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.